What's going on, you guys? Welcome to Risky Ryan Trades. What a crazy week that we had. Let's do a little weekly recap, see where all the major names are at, and we're going to take a look at some sectors at the end after I look at the Magnificent Seven that I've noticed some movement in, and let's just take a closer look at them. Before I get started, disclaimer, this is not financial advice, but for entertainment purposes only, but I do hope that you find value in it. If you don't and you lose all your money, you can't sue me, sorry. Wish you could, but you can't because I told you. But this is what I'm seeing, and if you do find value out of it, I would hope that you hit the like button, become a subscriber, and maybe leave me a comment below what your thoughts are on certain names, if you're bullish, if you're bearish, what you're seeing, and if there is a name you want me to take a look at, I am currently taking requests. And quick shout out to all my new subscribers. This is the biggest week for my channel. So not the biggest week for my portfolio, but the bright side is, you know, I've gotten some new people and I really enjoy sharing all this content with you. But anyways, let's dive right into it and start with the S&P 500. What we are looking at here, just real quick, I have the Ichimoku. Green is the Tenkan-sen, pink is the Kijun-sen, and then you have the cloud and you have the Chikou-span. Some other things you see in light blue, this is the 10-day exponential moving average, the 50-day, and the 200-day. And these little dots are called parabolic SAR. They're really nice to set stop losses. So for instance, you know, if you're like, we're looking at the weekly, you know, if the stock market were to just drop like a knife below this level right here, we'd be in serious trouble. So these things kind of help inform me on where to set my stop loss. I have been enjoying them. They've helped me out as an indicator while trading. But anyways, we're looking at the weekly charts and we are advancing. The S&P 500 is advancing. It is in a bullish pattern. We are quite a bit extended off of the Tenkan-sen, but it's not anything we haven't seen before during these runs. The one thing that I don't like is, you know, we got super extended here, but it was after the RSI got down here, we were at a major dip. And so it made sense to be that extended. Right now, RSI levels on the weekly are cooked, man. Now, last time we went 2 to 3 months, and we got a whole bunch of gains oversold or overbought. Now, when the RSI hit here and started to dip a little bit right here, if you had pulled all your money out and then just waited for this to come down, you could have hopped right back in around the same level. So it's really hard to call tops and bottoms, but when you see these RSIs get up there, you know, okay, we're in the danger zone. We are approaching potential volatility. We're, you know, kind of overdue. Now on the MACD, you can see we've crossed back up and over. So there could still be blue skies ahead. We could go higher before we go lower. You know, this could continue on for another month, but I would be shocked if between now and October we didn't get our 2% down day that we haven't had all year. And I wouldn't be surprised if it happened next week during earnings or this next month, because we are now in earnings season. But for now, S&P 500 looking good. The Nasdaq, on the other hand, we have a reversal candle. We're also overbought. So even if this thing were to break over, you know, this is what I'm going to be looking for next week. If we get a weekly candle that breaks over and then we get another really good week, I would be tightening up my stop losses, waiting for the inevitable, because we are we are overbought right now. And each time you get overbought, you get a drawdown, you get a drawdown. And each time it looks like we came down to the 50-day. So hopefully we have some good days ahead of us and it becomes super clear when this is going to happen. However, we did form this spinning top. And if you see price get under it and close under it, and just our luck next week, I bet you that it closes right at this level and right at the 10-day moving average. That might be a good thing, to be honest. It might bring us down out of this so that we can get a more extended move forward. So all this volatility we've seen in the Nasdaq this week is healthy. Hate to say it, but it is healthy. Let's take a look at the Russell 2000 real quick because it has been absolutely wrecking. Obviously, this hit my alert. Oh, I set it for less than 211, not over 211. Wow. Yeah, that's how you miss shit. Okay, so the Russell on the weekly, we're getting a curl up. And we might be going, it sure looks like we're going into some major momentum. We got a big green candle that showed up today, or this week. We have to go back because we closed now above this level right here. So this 210 becomes support. 210 becomes support. So if you want to get, if I want to get into the Russell 2000 trade, like if you feel like you missed it, we may see a retest of 210 before continuation. So I'm going to be looking for a retest of 210 because I don't think that, I don't think this is just a blip, what happened this week. I think, with the inflation report and everything, RSIs are at a healthy level. MACD is looking nice. I think that we're going to the next level with the Russell, and let's find out where that is exactly. So 220. $230. Obviously nice round numbers are good, but let's try to find like a peak. Like right here, 227. Oh. And we had the peak of the Russell right here, 244. So if you believe between now and the end of the year the Russell will return to form, that's a 14% move. So obviously that's, and it could happen quicker than you think. So, we'll be looking out for this. I don't think it'll be just a straight line. That'd be crazy. But, we could see 225, 227, like this area getting hit in relatively short order. And that's a 6% distance. So, something to think about. But yeah, the Russell, obviously it's looking great. The cloud is correct. We're way over. We closed above this. I really would be shocked if we didn't see some kind of pullback. People take profits, and then the continuation on. All right, let us go into. Actually, let me look at XLK real quick. Just take a look at tech. Okay, we have a spinning top. We are a little overcooked, but not too much. MACD is wide open on the weekly. I'm not too scared with tech, but I believe earnings season, I have a big cash position right now because I think in earnings season I'm going to get a discount on something. Something's going to break down and it's going to drop down to a support level, and I'll be able to pick up some shares. Okay, NVDA. Everybody wants to know about NVIDIA. Okay, so I actually want to take a look at the GAN levels for NVIDIA and see how we're doing, because we had a weird day today. We've had a weird week. So we are within the arc, and we closed under this fib level. And we closed under Tankinson. So I would not be surprised if we see some softness down to like the 124 level to retest the arc. However, man, I'd be really surprised if it didn't eventually break out. I'd be so shocked if it just dropped through the arc after pushing through the arc and, you know, both levels of it. Usually this is a level of support. The Ichimoku seems to be holding up, but the Kijinsen crossed over Tenkan-sen. So right now, NVIDIA is on shaky ground. Let's take a look at the weekly real quick. Yeah, so the top of the arc on the weekly is rejected, rejected. So we're in the arc. And you can see the past 2 weeks, we got rejected out of the bottom of the arc too. So this bottom of the arc is basically the battleground next week, I think. So the likelihood of you being able to pick up NVIDIA shares next week at $125 is probably pretty good. So I may lighten up next week on my NVIDIA shares and try to scoop some up, you know, do a little scalp, pick up some shares at 124. And let's just take a look at this here. Now the one saving grace for the NVIDIA bulls is that we have closed over this fib level, and this fib level is 127. That's another major level. So we were looking at GAN, now we're looking at fib, and we're right, look at this, we're right in between. So I have two fib levels. This 500 is like a very old Fibonacci extension, and this one is a more recent one, and we opened and closed smack dab in the middle of it. So is this level going to hold? Is it not going to hold? That's kind of the question. Now next week, if we stay within this Fibonacci fan here, let me get rid of some of this stuff. Okay, so in fact, we closed over the 500% this week just by a hair, that's good news. However, we do have a GAN angle right here that may hold us as support. If we come under this next week, 124 is the low, and this Fibonacci, the GAN fan didn't really do much for NVIDIA here that I drew. So the fib fan seems to be more important. So, and next week, the bottom of that is about 124.87. So I really, if I had to put money on it, which I think I am going to, I wouldn't be surprised if we touch this 124, maybe 125 level, and before maybe moving up again. Not sure if I'm just going to sell all my shares, put it in order for this, and hope that it gets tagged. You got to decide what's right for you, but the idea that we touch the bottom of the arc and touch this Fibonacci fan seems very possible next week. Depending on how this opens. I mean, we did close above, we got pushed down, and then we came back up, and we rallied up over this level. This level held, 127 held. So it's a tough call. It is a tough call. I think there's more overhead resistance than there is downside to this name at the moment. Let me go on the daily real quick, see if I can't see something. The RSIs are at a healthy level. The MACD is, see how like the histogram comes up and now it's going down again? Obviously this big candle didn't help. So this stock has kind of boggled my mind for a little bit here. Yeah, this GAN fan held on the daily. I mean, we closed over it each time. We never closed under it. We had a poke through. But yeah, I would not be surprised if we saw like another touch of the 50, because we are under the 10-day moving average, unfortunately. So if we can see, like, I'll probably watch like Monday's price action. If we can close over the 10-day EMA, we might have some upward momentum again. If we close under 126, I might have a stop loss set right here, because you can see we opened, we touched, we retested, and like this 127.06 level held very firm. So if you see a 126.74 or something like that, we could see there's a lot of support, a lot of resistance. This one's just a really hard call. I wish my analysis was a little better on this one, but hang on to your seatbelts or your seats or whatever. Okay, moving on. Let's take a look at Tesla. Okay. So the Ichimoku is still looking good on the daily. We had a test of it. We closed over my fib fan, but we closed under the 10-day EMA. So you may see some debate and some chop. We also, plugged this parabolic SAR, and that usually means that, there's going to be a downswing for a second. So I would not be rushing into Tesla, to be honest. We fell under this 250 level. It tried to get back up to it today, and it failed. It got rejected down. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more 235 to 245 action over the coming days. Let's take a look at the weekly real quick. Spinning top. Bottom of the spinning top, 231. Top of the spinning top, 272. Jeez. So this is often a reversal candle. If the weekly stays above this fib level, I think there's, a better chance for it. Let's take a look at the daily real quick. So we were severely overbought. Now we're back down. You might see some more overbought action on Tesla. I wouldn't be surprised. I think there was a lot of profit taking on this gigantic move, and I do think that Tesla is one of those names that Wall Street wants to get back into because it's underperformed so much. But I think it was part of the sell-off because we finally got back to year-to-date levels, 2024 right here. So, we got back to where we were at the beginning of the year. So all those losses were recouped, and I think, not just Wall Street, but I think retail, they wanted to just de-risk. They got their money back, and they probably right here they thought they never would. So Tesla, I'm waiting to get into, especially since they pushed out Robotaxi. You also have earnings on the 23rd. I don't know. I don't know that there's going to be any good news on the earnings call. And he's holding these things close to his chest with Robotaxi. So I don't know. I don't know with Tesla. I don't think I'm ready to, jump right in, especially after this giant move. It would be chasing. So I'd like to see price stabilize a little bit more, get a little tighter action like we saw right here, and then a break to the upside before jumping in. Apple. Apple's an important name. Look at this. You would have never known there was a giant tech sell-off this week, and it's because Apple's another one of those names that they don't want to sell too many of their shares because, first of all, institutions dived in right here. And this name has been underperforming. You know, like it's due for a good second half, I think. So, you know, is tomorrow or Monday a good day to buy Apple? Maybe not. But it's in a healthy pattern, and it does have some tight price action here. So, you know, I added to my position a little bit today because I saw that it was not receiving the same treatment that names like Meta were receiving. Right, so let's just go to Meta. I don't want this video to be like hours long. Meta fell apart, but it found support at this Fibonacci fan level. Very interesting. And this fan held up multiple times. This is critical support right here. If the 293 level doesn't hold, we're looking at like 475 as the next major level of support. Yeah, and we also have on the daily, we have a MACD crossover. Really ugly for Meta. They got earnings coming up. This is one of those names that I've been trying to get into. I've been trying to trade it, and then it just like, you know, like it flushes, or like it's not working out in my favor, and I got to bail out before I lose too much. So I've been waiting and waiting and waiting to find a good entry for Meta, and I'm really hoping that I'm going to get it this earnings cycle. So I do have a large cash position saved up to pick up the unwanted, you know, the Island of Misfits toys that comes out during earnings season here that's coming up. So Meta's looking a little rough. We'll take a look at the weekly. Bearish engulfing on the weekly. Yeah, ugly. 420 is probably the level that I would add shares if we got there, because you could see that served as a launching pad back here in February. It served as support back here in April during the pullback, and you know, hoping to see this parabolic SAR at 435 hold up. You know, if it comes down and it holds there, I'll probably hop back in, draw my stop loss below these levels, and hope that was the bottom. Yeah. But yeah, ugly times for Meta. Very sad. I thought I had my Meta position, you know, built up, and then Microsoft has been kind of choppy, kind of meh. The weekly looks awful, but it did hold over the 10-day EMA, and we are still in this Fibonacci channel. So I don't think Microsoft's one of those names that just like they sell off. You know, like, yeah, it's a big tech name, but it's like it's Microsoft. You know, like it's one of the safest high growth stocks you can be in, and it's going to benefit from the AI. So we do have a major level though here at 448. I would want to see that hold, and I think we can get rid of these Fibonacci fans here, because I don't think, well, yeah, we can get rid of those. This fib level, this fib fan is more important. So we want to see this hold. And next week, the bottom of that is basically right here. So if we see some bearish price action, you know, we could come all the way down to 405 again, which would be a nightmare. But I don't see it happening. We got a little overbought, and now we're not overbought on the weekly. Let's take a look at the daily. Yeah, it held up, and it also closed over the 452 fib level. So Microsoft, Not too bad. Let's take a look at the GAN levels for Microsoft. Actually, real quick, let's back it up. Look at the Meta GAN levels. Oh, did it not register? Okay, I gotta select it. Okay, Meta back inside the arc. Tenkinson saved the day, as you can see here. So technically, on a weekly level, we don't have a sell signal yet on Meta. I'd be shocked if we don't get one soon. You know, we closed under $500 though, which I didn't love. And we are very much inside of this Fibonacci channel now. So I would not be surprised to see, you know, a decline down to maybe this 483 level. And actually I'm going to go in here and draw that in. Okay, so you can see I drew this 483 level in. You can see there's a fib fan. There's also a Fibonacci level at 477. So there's a decent amount of support. You know, the idea that I'm going to get, you know, 420 again is pretty low. But I'm not going to be rushing into the, you know, I'm going to be waiting for earnings. And if in post-market, you know, during the earnings, if I see it just start to wick down, I'm going to have a buy order right around 420, 425. Because sometimes you get these crazy whips and then they reverse. So that is a major support level at about 530, 525. So like those levels I'm going to be keeping an eye on. And as we get closer to Meta's earnings, I'm going to take a much deeper dive into this. But let's go back to Microsoft here real quick. So looking at the weekly, yeah, Microsoft is still within this channel, still plugging along. We're kind of a ways away from this 429 level, which is a GAN level. And if we were to see some crazy move from Microsoft, this level I think will hold. Because you have a lot going on. You got the GAN angle right here, you got the GAN level right here, you got the top of the arc right here. So I would suspect that, you know, this area would hold up, and I kind of doubt that we're really going to see a move towards it. We might see like a, you know, one of these kind of things before we get up to this arc and the next GAN level at 500. All right, moving on, we have Amazon. Let's take a look at Amazon. Amazon getting rejected out of the arc. Not quite a bearish engulfing. This is on the weekly. Let's take a look at the daily. We are below the Tenkinson on the daily. So this would not be, I would wait to get over 201 before adding my shares back in, I'm pretty sure. 195 does seem to be holding, you know, 190, I should say 192 and a half seems to be holding, but I would want to see us get over and close a candle over the arc and above all this price action before jumping in. Next up we have Google. Google below Tenkinson, still within this Fibonacci channel, and it seems like this is the channel it's going to stay in. We might see like a wick down next week to the Kijun-sen, but the Kijun-sen has held support here in the past. Let's take a look at the weekly. Yeah, not the most beautiful thing, huh? So yeah, Google, one of those names that I think people have questions about if they're really going to be AI leaders or not. I know I have those questions. I know when they released Gemini, it made me think, you know, like the biggest thing with Google is like, is AI going to disrupt search? And then they come out with their AI and it's, all the pundits said it was inaccurate. The truth was it was like disgustingly woke. Like too woke even for liberals. I mean, they were black Nazis. You remember that? Oh, I'm not supposed to say the N-word. This might get demonetized or something, but yeah, like, what a joke. Like, that told you everything you needed to know about the management team. And so I've been avoiding this stock. I allow a little bit of exposure with, you know, ETFs, but I just don't trust the management team, and there's questions about its future. So I'm bearish on this stock, but it's in a healthy, you know, movement on the weekly. It's, you know, the Ichimoku is still where it needs to be. Let's take a look at Costco. Costco, look what they did to my boy. Look what they did to my boy. On the weekly, it's still holding up. Believe it or not, it's still holding up above Tenkan-sen. But we did get a bearish engulfing candle. So next level of support is all the way, oh yikes, it's all the way down here at like 810. There's like nothing but air between 840 and 810. You do have the Tenkan-sen right here, but if we get a candle that closes under this, I'm going to be reducing position. Yeah, look at this big red candle. Big yikes. Big yikes. But I've been in Costco for a long time, and this thing, like, yeah, you get these big ugly candles and a little bit of, you know, you get a few, maybe a month or two of sadness, and then it just rips. It's just what it does. It's just what it does. And, like, you know, say you sold here at the bottom, like the last time we got a big red candle like this. I guess you could have bought at this Gann angle, but we don't have like an area of support that's really nearby. I mean, it would be like Kijun-sen or something down here at 784. So that's maybe where I would be looking, you know, if you're trying to get into Costco. This is a major level. You can see the wick came up to 784, 785, 786, 787. That's where the next major level of support lies. All right, let's take a look at Netflix. I got stopped out of Netflix the other day. I was pretty salty about that. Looks like it just got sold all the way through. Yeah, good thing I got out. Good thing I got out. Next level of support is right here at like 630, 625. Right around 625, maybe even 626. I'm going to put a little line right there. Next level of support after that is 605. And then then it gets ugly. I don't think it gets down there, but it could. Netflix is another name I'm trying to get into. So if there's like a pile-on Netflix around earnings, because they don't got the Tyson fight to brag about, then I'm going to be scooping some up. I'm going to be looking at other indicators, and I'll tell you what I'm looking at when I'm picking these things up. You know, like catching the bottom is an art and risky. It is. It's one of the harder things to do, but it's, you know, it's something I like to do. You can see here, look at this. So top of the cloud is right alongside, so 625. I'm going to make an alert for myself here for good old Netflix. We do have a fib level here as well. So 625, I want to get alerted right here. And I want to get alerted right here. If I can pick this stock up right there, I suspect the 50-day moving average will be confluent with it, and that's a big support zone from what I can see. So I'm going to be looking to pick these shares up at 625. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to even make a little note for myself. 625 buy target. All right, moving on. We got to take a look at Eli Lilly. Oops. Eli Lilly is in the arc, and it can't be denied, man. Eli Lilly, like, I don't understand. It's moving like NVIDIA. I think boomers just love this stock so much they refuse to ever sell it. They'll never sell it, man. But yeah, we're in the arc. I have pretty strong exposure to Eli Lilly already as far as I want it. And we are at the top of this fib channel, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see, but if we get over. But yeah, you can see here that this level right here, 940, was a major inflection point, and that was the bottom of the arc. So that's going to serve as support again moving forward. Let's take a look at the weekly. Strong candles. Strong candles, man. Yeah, so Eli Lilly looking really, really good. Let's look at Broadcom, another major player in the Nasdaq 100 index and the S&P 500. It's a large weighting. And you have a spinning top. So we're in a range. Did this come down to touch? I have a hard time telling. This is I can't tell where the wick is on this. Let's look at the daily. Holding over Tenkinson. So a bunch of red candles, but it's holding. So Broadcom looks to me to be a little bit safer than NVIDIA in the short term. Just my opinion. You do have a $100 drop to the next level of support. But if you ask me, it looks like this thing has confirmed support on the Tenkinson, and it's going to try to reattempt the Gann level of 1845. So, yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing with Broadcom. Let's take a look at CrowdStrike. Look what they did to my boy. This level holding very strong. But we do have some resistance at 375. So we're in a range between 365 and 375. We're going to want to see that break. I don't want to see it break to the downside because I don't short things. But there's nothing but air in this gap right here. 364 all the way down to 360-ish. But you have tons of support here at 360. And that's where my cost basis is. So, or at least for this current move. I mean, I started buying it and trading it. I'm profitable. My cost basis is probably down here. I bought it on the dips. But my current shares are right here. So, you might see me, like if I get a 360 number, I might buy right here, go a little overweight, try to get a bounce, see if we can clear 365 again, and then those extra shares that I'm overweight, the way I play that is I stick it on the daily or the 4 hour, and I don't try to get too greedy with those extra shares, and I play those shares a little tighter than I do my overall position. But this to me is not a swing trade for CrowdStrike. To me, it's a position. I believe in this company. I think that there's been so many hacks. They've been rampant for this whole year, and part of my prediction, like on my bingo card for 2024, is a major cyber attack around our election. I hope it doesn't happen, but if it does happen, you're going to see names like this get really, well, they're going to get really volatile, but I think that people are going to start to slowly come around and realize that they can't just skimp on their cybersecurity. They're going to have to pay up for these big names like Palo Alto and CrowdStrike and Zscaler. They're going to have to pay up to get premium cybersecurity, so that way, if they get hacked, they go, well, we had the best company doing our cybersecurity. What was I supposed to do? But if you're a CEO and you get hacked, and then the board goes, why didn't you okay more budget for cybersecurity? Your head's going to roll. So that's what I see in the future. CrowdStrike is one of my biggest positions in my portfolio. It's way overweight compared to the Nasdaq. And it's a really good performer. It's got a ton of volatility in it, as you can see. But with that high volatility, you get tons of outperformance over the long run. So I love this name. I don't love that the ARC rejected it, but I do think that this fib channel is the channel to get the job done. And I really highly doubt that we get down to the 340s again. That'd be psycho. And we don't have earnings until late August. So a lot of time for this to work itself out, in my opinion. Let's take a look at SOFI. SOFI has been doing great. It closed just under $7. But you can see here, like 689, like this 689 level is actually, there's a lot of, price action around it. We are hitting the cloud now, and then we got the arc up here. So we'll have to wait and see if it has the momentum. But you see this spinning top that formed up here? There was a bullish candle, a really strong bullish candle over it. So I'm looking forward to more upward momentum. And if you were watching my videos, if you watched my SOFI video, when I was saying, hey, this GAN level is holding up, you would have done pretty well for yourself. We have if you can see this, we have an upside down head and shoulders pattern. We broke the neckline right here, and now we're zooming up. So I think we might see one of those big moves out of SOFI. I would love to see us get over this 790. The shorts are going to get squeezed to death if we can get into this arc. Once we start getting over $7, I think we're going to see some really strong moves out of SOFI, which, God, this thing has been overdue for that. PayPal, I'm a little underweight PayPal. See, it is not moving quite like SOFI is. At all. This GAN level held, but like it came all the way down to this, the GAN angle held, but it was really this GAN level that held it. And now it's between Tenkins and Kijis, and everything's just wrong with this name. I have a little bit of exposure because I like to keep an eye on it, but jury's still out on PayPal, if you ask me. All right, well, this video is long enough. If there was a name or a stock or an ETF that you wanted me to look at and I didn't get to it, go ahead and leave a comment below. If you got value out of this video, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button that's showing up right now, and maybe hit me with a like. All these things help me with the algorithm. Thank you so much to the subscribers that I added this week that came aboard. Thank you so much. It's been very motivating. It's been good to see that people are watching my videos. I love it. And I will catch you on the next one. Risky Brian out.